Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss Sam. And I'm back with yet another video. This time, you guys, this time will be a continuation of this video that I partially renamed because, well, I would like my videos to get to more people and more people to see them. So, I've been reading those advice articles on how to get your stuff on YouTube to get it more like pushed out into the algorithm. So that's why I kind of messed with the name. So now the video is called, what's it called? No, not that. This here. Film Analysis, The Shining, Symbolism, Get Your Z's at the Overlook Hotel. So today, this video that you're watching and listening to now, it's going to be a continuation of this one. The video about the Z's in the lobby. Okay. And as I discussed in this video, the Z's in the lobby, these freaking things are connected, in my opinion, based on what I've been looking at, what I've read, what I've been researching. These Z's at the top of these pillars, columns, whatever, I'll just call them columns, make it easier, are connected to the diamonds, which are on this tapestry and in other places like the floor of the hotel, and I think there's another tapestry somewhere with diamonds, and these damn chandeliers that we see throughout the hotel, in the lobby, in the Colorado Lounge, and in the Gold Room. Okay? So before I get going with any of that, I'm not going to do church announcements, or maybe I should, because when I leave it for the end, I forget. So, okay, let me do that real quick. New viewers, thank you for being new. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. Subscribers, all 400 of you, thank you for subscribing. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, because I really appreciate it, and it does help me when you like my videos. And that's it, and that's all. That's done. That's, that's I'm done with this church announcements. If I forget to say it at the end, okay, that's fine. I said it just now. So I have a lot to cover in this video. Okay? We're talking about diamonds and crowns. Diamonds and crowns. Okay? Diamonds and crowns. Diamonds and crowns. Chandeliers. That chandelier is a crown if I ever saw one. Okay, and here's Jack throwing his ball down the hallway here, and where she stops, nobody knows, right? But let me just I'm all frazzled because I got all my tabs lined up, and now it's all scrambled in my head. Let's hope that I don't mess this up, but we shall see. Anyway, on my community tab, I put the song by Bad Girl Riri, Rihanna, Diamonds, okay? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, these damned, like, Kubrickian diamonds, all right? And I wrote here, right, gonna continue the discussion regarding Z for Zayn soon. And then I put axes because, as we established in this here video, let me make it a little bit smaller. Film Analysis, Shining, Symbolism, Get Your Z's at the Overlook Hotel. So we established that the Z is for Zayn, which does not look like a Z, but it's related to the letter Z. Okay, it will merge into my discussion of the mysterious diamonds, all 7 of them. I think it's all 7 of them. This is going to be like, I'm going to have to turn somersaults in my head to do this. But you shall see. We shall see. We shall see. And possibly those chandeliers. I think I'm going to do the chandeliers and the diamonds in this video, because, like, why not? Go ahead and take I don't know if you like Rihanna. I think her music is like, it's a good bop, as Alexander Rogers would say. It's a good bop. She's good at bops. And it's great workout music, let me tell you. But check this out. And I picked a video version of the Diamond song. It's the music video, but it has the lyrics at the bottom of the screen. So, check it out. If you don't like her music, that's fine. Put it on mute. Just look at the lyrics. And I understand, like, a lot of men find her, very pleasant to look at, so you can enjoy that as well when you're watching her video. She looks awesome in this video, by the way. Yeah, so pretty. I'm jealous as hell. But, you know, whatevers. And that's that. So check out the Diamond song. Whoever wrote this song, whoever wrote the lyrics for this song, like, they knew what they were doing. I always wonder about, like, music, movies, TV, like the writers, the people who write these stories and lyrics and what have you. Like, they must be extremely educated people, because somehow I keep observing that, like, a lot of this media, movies, music, literature, TV shows, what have you, always seems to lead back to ancient mythology. Like, ain't that something? Ain't that something, you guys? But anyway, so check it out, right? And also, I want to give somebody their props. Okay, so here we are. This is my last video. Get your Z's, right? And Anno Domini, he reminded me. He says, I actually mentioned it in Understanding the Shining Part 7, which is kind of, I don't know what to call it. That's one heck of a coincidence, Anno. In Part 7, the number 7 is going to be important in this video. The number 7 is going to be important in this video that I'm doing now. Anyway, I actually mentioned it in the Understanding the Shining Part 7 about the letter Z. Go check the video. My comment will be there. Okay, and I said thank you. And I knew somebody mentioned it, but I didn't know who, and I couldn't remember who, because Part 7 was months ago. Okay, so I've been doing this for over a year. I've forgotten a lot. So I said thank you for reminding me. I knew somewhere in the back of my head I could remember somebody mentioning it. I'll talk about something else related to it in the next few videos. So Anno, really good eye, Anno. Really good eye. And I talked about this in this video, Get Your Z's, and I talked about the Zayin. And it's not just the letter Z, it's the fact that the letter Z is shaped, Hebrew, Zayin, is shaped exactly like an axe. Watch this video to see what I mean, right? Where is the damn thing? Hold on. It's in here. I kind of saved that. Where is it? There it is. See that? See that there? That looks an awful lot like an X. That is the letter Zayin in Hebrew. Okay, and what we're going to talk about today is related. Yes, it is related to the letter Z, and not Z for zebra or zeta. No, Z for Zayin. Okay, so there's that. And this is Anno's original comment I wanted to show you. And if you're interested, those of you who are new, I've got a whole playlist with all of my Understanding the Shining videos in one playlist. One unavailable video. Excuse me? What in the blue? Oh, no, you didn't. Well, no, they're all here. It's 1 through 14, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about. One unavailable video is hidden. The fuck? YouTube, why do you do this to me? Okay, hold on. So, here it is, right? Where is Anno's comment? I want to show it because he's right. He did bring this up. Yes, 6 months ago. Hello. Okay, so he talks about the Volkswagen car. It was made in 1937, and it was called the People's Car because it was made to be affordable for everyone. So in this video, in Part 7, I talk about it. I guess the yellow car. Now about the letter Z, it's interesting that Wikipedia says the Semitic symbol was the 7th letter, named Zayin, which meant weapon or sword. Cool. Very cool, Anno. You're right. You did mention it. Again, thank you for reminding me. And like I said, oh my God, I'm going to go back and forth and go crazy. In this video, I said I used, basically the same research I used to figure out the Z's on the tops of these columns. I used the same stuff like the Phoenician alphabet and by extension, the Hebrew alphabet to figure out Jeffrey Epstein's porch around the temple on his island in the Caribbean. And a couple of you in the comments, Jennifer, is it you, Jennifer? Oh, no, no, you mentioned Mantegna, which is really good. Yeah, you have a good eye, and you sound like a student of art history, like early Renaissance art history. I think Mantegna was early Renaissance, but I'm not sure. But somebody said, oh yeah, please tell us about the Epstein floor. And I think Dr. Luke, he also wanted to know about the Epstein floor. Of course you do. Uh, well, I'll just make a long story short because this it isn't related to what I'm talking about in this video. From what I discovered, in my opinion, based on what I read and what I looked at and what I kind of pieced together painstakingly, because I don't know Hebrew, I sure as hell don't know Phoenician. But I think that the writing or the symbols outside of the temple on the floor surrounding the temple, I think it spells out house of weapons and or sex. That's what I think it means. Okay? So of course I have no time to show you how I got to that conclusion, but yes, I used the Phoenician alphabet and this marvelous syllabary. Is it syllabary? Yeah, it's syllabary. To come to that conclusion. And I studied that freaking floor outside of Epstein's temple on his island in the Caribbean. And I wanted to know, like, I don't know if anybody else came to that conclusion, like, the people on the chans, right? Hello, skis. Yeah. But that's what I thinks, that's what I, pieced together. Okay? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you know what? That's the worst part of this shit. You have no way of knowing whether you're right or whether you're wrong. No way in hell. No way in hell. So if it doesn't say in Phoenician letters or whatever, the house of weapons and sex, then I don't know. That's my conclusion. But like, wouldn't it make sense, you guys, if that is what it spells out on the floor or the porch or whatever you want to call that surrounding that temple building on the island? Sheesh. And he built that thing, like that thing, that freaking building. Yes, it looks like a temple. Yes, it looks like there's so many things going on with that building. So many things going. Ugh, I don't know what to think anymore. But anyway, so yeah, that's Anno. You talked about it, and you're right. You were right about weapon or sword, but it's axe. All right, and remember, I showed you. This is one of the examples I used in the New York Post article. 3,000 years ago, the Phoenicians used a letter called Zayin, meaning axe. Okay, so something's going on, y'all. So I used the Phoenician alphabet, to get to my conclusion that Zayin, and here it is, the tiny little version of it here in Hebrew, which looks an awful lot like an axe. It means weapon. It's the 7th letter of the Semitic abjads, including Phoenician, Hebrew, Aramaic, Syrian, and Arabic, and it represents the sound Z. Okay, and this Phoenician letter gave rise to the Greek zeta, Etruscan Z, Latin Z, and the Cyrillic Z. Okay, and I'm just recapping this for you. The Phoenician meaning, right? The Proto-Sinaitic glyph may have been called Zik based on a hieroglyph depicting a manacle. Well, for our purposes, no, we're not talking about the manacle. We're talking about the axe, and they don't really mention it on this Wikipedia page, but the Phoenician letter appears to be named after a sword or other weapon. Okay, I got annoyed with this last time, and I'm annoyed with it again. Why won't you say axe? In Mishnaic Hebrew, zayin means sword, and the verb lezayin means to arm. In modern Hebrew slang, zayin means penis, and lezayin is a vulgar term which generally means to perform sexual intercourse, although the older meaning... Oh yeah, okay, never mind that. So, which made me think... Okay, let me go back to this. Which made me think, this is where You know, the whole point of this is the spot. This is the place in the hotel where Dick Halloran, whether it really happens in the world of the movie or not, we're shown that by Stanley. This is where the Dick Halloran character meets his demise. And he's slain by the Jack character with the Zayn, the axe, right? And that's why I was researching these Z's up on top of these columns. And then, you know, looking at this explanation of how it's used in Hebrew as just basically a meaning for weapon or sword, but also the sexual connotation. And it kind of got me to thinking, like, Dick Halloran. Hello. Okay, his name is Dick. We always forget that they don't ever call him Richard in the movie. No, they call him Dick every single time. Every single time they say his first name, they always say Dick, never Richard. So, got me to thinking, maybe like if it means penis, as well as a sword or weapon, an axe. Now that we've figured that out, like, is that why Dick Halloran is named Dick Halloran? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Is there a connection? I'm just like exploring the possibilities. And the fact that it's the 7th letter, in both Phoenician and Hebrew, I think, it's the 7th letter of the alphabet. Like, that's interesting. Because, like, I did a little bit of poking around. Yes, I did. And I checked out, like, I did Google Stanley Kubrick's 7 Diamonds. Because I found that when I was searching for the diamonds. I wasn't searching for 7 diamonds. I was just searching for diamonds and any discussion of the diamonds. And I found this stuff, which there's not a whole lot of explaining going on in any of these sources, at least not the ones that I clicked. And you can see what I clicked because it's purple, But this was really interesting to me because there are some people who have made videos about them. I haven't watched that. I haven't watched the readily available video about the Kubrick and diamonds and whatever. But I was really interested in this. This is from Tumblr, KDK12, which is, I think, Johnny 53. Anno Domini, if you're listening, you're the one who told me also about Johnny 53, and I think his name is John. I forget. Like, is it John Ryan Fell? But if you click on this. Oh, no, you're not going to find anything. I'm not going to do it here because I've already got a million tabs open. But, feel free when you find this. I just showed you what to Google to get to it. Like, it's not there. So he probably put it behind a paywall on his Patreon. And I think he does have a Patreon. And I don't want to be messy. Even though I love gossip and I love being messy. I love a good mess. You guys, I love a good mess. That's why I like the Housewives. Of course I love a mess. But I'm just, this, I poked around, and this here predates the other video that's readily available. So let me just leave that right there. I think you know what I'm referring to, or what I'm alluding to. I think there's a reason why John Ryan Fell, also known as Johnny 53, also known as KDK12 on Tumblr. I think there's a reason why he put his shit behind a paywall. Maybe he got sick and tired of being plagiarized, eh? I'm evil. But there... and I don't give a shit either. But... So this is where I'm at right now, okay? So we talked about, the Phoenician alphabet, Zayn, means axe. Okay, and then I kept poking around. I kept poking around because that night when I did all this research, and I researched Tony too. Oh yeah, yes, I sure did. But that's going to be another video for another time. And plus I need to do my 15th installment of Understanding the Shining, which I haven't even gotten my screenshots together for that. I haven't even begun to do my slides for part 15 because I have been so freaking busy. And I'm going to get even busier in the next upcoming weeks. No, I'm gonna lose my mind. And maybe like I do this to kind of ground myself and like get my head together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just crazy. How about that? But I'll read myself too, just like everybody else. But I poked around. I'll do a Tony video another time. And I poked around, and I wanted to know about diamonds. Because we're dealing with diamonds here. There's diamond over here, and there's a diamond, there's the diamond, then there's the circle, and then there's a diamond over here. Okay. And Dick, and I watched the movie again. When Jack hits Halloran in the chest with the axe, he doesn't fall like right where he stands. No, he staggers, so it's at this like line of this column, this line back here, and then Halloran kind of staggers backwards, and then he falls dead in this circle where the tricycle is with the Bugs Bunny doll on it. And remember, Bugs Bunny is the one who calls people Doc, right? And Halloran is the one who calls Danny Doc. So, and the fact that the Bugs Bunny doll, the one who calls people Doc, is lying on Danny's tricycle, that means that Danny brought him there. Okay. So that's what we're led to believe in the movie, that Danny telepathically communicates with Halloran in his home in Florida. Is it Miami? I'll just say Miami because I'm not sure. But like Danny's the one who summons Dick Halloran to come and like save them. Save him and his mother, Wendy. So Danny is like the vehicle. And again, this is all if we believe everything that we see literally in the movie. I do not. But I'm still gonna like destroy this symbolism. Alright? I'm gonna dominate it. God damn it. But anyway, so I poked around for diamonds. There's diamonds. Diamonds. Like Rihanna says, shine bright like a diamond. Okay, so anyway, you might be interested in what I have discovered. Again, I found a website. This is obviously a jeweler. All right, smart luxury, rings, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, watches, high jewelry. I don't know what that means. Tailor-made, whatever. Looks like an interesting website, and that's their business, jewelry. And they have this cute article, Diamonds-in-Mythology. And I could have gone to Wikipedia. Of course I could have. But I didn't. I wanted something a little more interesting, and here it is, right? Diamonds in mythology. Diamonds have been a regular feature in myths and legends for thousands of years. People have always regarded diamonds as something very special. And before I continue, like I said, I think I solved the mystery, and that's basically it. I think I've solved the mystery of the diamonds. However many of them there are. Some people say 7. Some people say, oh no, it's not 7, it's 5 plus 2. I don't know, but I think I've covered the 7. Okay, remember Zayn is the 7th letter of both Phoenician and Hebrew alphabets. So if maybe I solved it. I think I might have, or at least partially. If I haven't, if you've heard information or seen information or read information contrary to what I'm about to say here, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know that I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. No problem. Okay, moving on. As long as anybody can remember, diamonds have been a source of fascination because of their captivating beauty and rarity, and have been the cause of various myths and legends. The first diamonds were discovered long before our time, probably around 3500 BC, and even then they were a sign of wealth, strength, power, and love. However, it was not until much later that ways were found to perfectly cut diamonds for them to shine. Yep. For them to shine with the brilliance we know today. Okay. Well, the prices, though. Look at this. Ooh, pretty. Pretty, but, ooh, expensive. I can't afford this. Anyway, I can't even afford that Taschen book that I really, really want about The Shining. What do we say, $1,500? Cheese and crackers. Wow. Anyway, Egypt. Ancient Egyptian images show diamonds as the centerpiece of the Ankh, the cross-like symbol with a closed oval at the top, which was the symbol for life. At that time, the diamond stood for light, and the sun. I hope you all are listening. Pay attention. The source of all life, and the sun, the source of all life. Even today, an ankh is a very popular symbol for pendants, for instance, in the form of a diamond necklace. Okay. I can't get into it now, but recently I was researching the ankh too, because I'm into Egyptian art and Egyptian culture as well. If you think this Phoenician alphabet is interesting, please, for the love of Pete, go and check out the Egyptian hieroglyphs. There seem to be like a countless number of them, and they're all little pictures, which is why I'm fascinated by them. But that's neither here nor there right now. The ankh, it's kind of a mysterious symbol. And you, Gershom, if you're listening, you told me that one of the songs I put up was featured, I think it was Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's did, was featured in a movie with like David Bowie and Catherine Deneuve. It was called The Hunger. And David Bowie and Catherine Deneuve are like a couple of vampires. And, they're very sexy vampires. And they lure young, attractive people. And I don't know if their like point is to sleep with those people and drink their blood, or is it just, the main point is to drink their blood, but whatever. Like that's how they like open up the person's vein or whatever to access the blood. Like Catherine Deneuve's character has an amulet shaped like an ankh, and it's like a little knife, and you just pull it out, or she just pulls it out and slices people with it. And like her character, I guess, became a vampire in ancient Egypt. Okay, and that's why she has that ankh with her. Anyway, I researched the ankh. And I was researching some other Egyptian stuff too. And again, it's a cross-cultural, ancient sort of thing going on. And it relates to, y'all get ready, it relates to bovine imagery. Okay, cows, bulls, what have you. And I might get into it one time. Maybe I'll do another thing about Egyptian art or Mesopotamian art. Or I'll just do like a thing about the Minotaur and the palace at Knossos with King Minos and, the whole story, right? And how it's kind of not transcends, but traverses like all of these different ancient cultures. But Hathor is the cow goddess, and she's considered the divine mother of all pharaohs. And then there's, so the cow goddess is female. Then there's also a bull god, and then there's the bull from Mesopotamia, and then there's the white bull in Greek mythology, and then there's, oh my goodness, and of course, let's not forget prehistory. All of those bulls, and also known as bison, in cave paintings. Oh yes, but we don't have time for that today. So anyway, but stood for light and the sun. Okay, the ankh. Oh no, what is it? No, no, go away. Oh my God, this freaking thing! I just want to read the article. No, stop it. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, ancient Rome and Greece. In ancient times, Greeks and Romans did not regard diamonds as precious stones. They were seen as tears of the gods, or fragments of stars that had fallen from the sky. And let me go back here for a second. Remember when I said like these, there's the Z's on top of the columns, and then there's the moldings, or whatever that is. Is it wallpaper or moldings? I'm not sure. It's hard to see. That are on top of the walls. Okay, so the lower part of the moldings on the walls, the lower part is brown, and I think there might be crosses in there, or they might not be crosses, they might be swords, maybe just to emphasize that the word Zayin means sword or weapon. But then it's white, the upper part of the wall is white, and then there's this trim at the top with these little, you can see it better here because it's closer. These little white spots, are those the stars that this article is talking about? They were seen as tears of the gods, or fragments of stars that had fallen from the sky. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. A supernatural symbol, the work of the gods on a supernatural symbol, comma, oh dear, the work of the gods on earth. I don't know why they didn't put the word of bit there, but whatever. In line with this, ownership outside temples was reserved only for the richest and most powerful. So, whoever did this article obviously did their research, so that's why I kind of love it. Even the arrow of Cupid, who could make anyone fall hopelessly in love, is said to have been made of diamond. Diamonds were also worked into armor or worn as chains, so the divine powers within them could pass to the wearer and make him invincible in battle. References to these supposedly magical abilities extend as far back as the European Middle Ages. So we're not so much concerned with the Middle Ages. We're concerned with everything that the pre-Christian world. Let's just put it that way. Like everything from antiquity and backwards, right? Ancient Rome, ancient Greece, the ancient Aegean cultures in the Aegean, the island cultures, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and yes, the I'll call it the biblical part of the world, right? Mesopotamia, yes, is a part, like Mesopotamia is basically Iraq, but I'm talking about like Syria, Lebanon, Jerusalem, what we now call the Holy Land. I just call that the biblical part of the world, right? So we're not so much concerned with the Middle Ages. We're concerned with that part of history. Like, it's interesting. Like I said, if those little white spots on the tops of the walls are these tears of the gods or fragments of the stars that had fallen from the sky, oh boy. Oh boy. And again, the hotel is located on top of a mountain, which makes us think possibly is a connection to Mount Olympus, where the gods live. And because I was talking about Epstein a little while ago, that temple of his is elevated on the island. Yeah, that's the temples were elevated in the ancient world too. Whether you're dealing with ancient Greece, oh, I can't think of the name now. Is it the Parthenon? Oh God, I hope so. And or like Mesopotamian temples that were situated on top of these sloped platforms called ziggurats. Yo. So the Overlook Hotel, is it a freaking temple? And if it is, who is it dedicated to? Luke? I think it's Zeus. Zeus, Jupiter. Yeah. But we were talking, I'm going to do a video about that too. Y'all, I am not done. Anyway, ancient India, not so much interested in ancient India. However, the first recorded mention of diamonds in history, they come from India. That's important. So I'm done with this article. I will, as always, put all of these articles in the description so you can look at them yourself, right? So I covered Egypt, again with these damn ads. I covered, ancient Rome and Greece and Egypt, okay? So there's also this one. Okay, I found, yeah, and I was looking for jewelry, and I didn't finish reading it. Okay, you guys. Yes, because this does have a great deal to do with Judaism. I know you might not see it now or whatever. I think what Stanley is doing is he's using kind of, I don't know how to explain this. It seems like our modern day connection to the ancient world, the closest like link we have to the ancient world is Judaism. Okay? So all of these other like mythologies, we call them that, from the ancient world, whether again it's Greek, Roman, Mesopotamian, Norse mythology, and etc., and so on and so forth, none of those are modern religions anymore. We think of them as like, from the past, and we think that those people were backwards, believing in people like figures like Zeus and Athena and Aphrodite and Poseidon, or all of these different gods and goddesses, and all of the minor deities like nymphs and muses and stuff like that, and demigods. We think of that as just fairy tales at this point. But like with Judaism, this is an actual religion that people in the modern world still follow. And it's our connection to the ancient world in the modern times. And of course, I think Stanley was aware of that. So that's where we're going with this. Okay? I hope I do a good job. Diamond Myths and Legends is this article from the Cape Town Diamond Museum. Again, I'll leave that in the description. Throughout history, diamonds have captivated mankind with their alluring beauty and supernatural beliefs. Since their discovery around 2500 BC, these precious gems have been at the heart of many myths and legends by cultures across the world and been associated with virtues such as strength, wealth, power, and love. Okay. Don't need to go into that. The pharaohs, okay? Again with the middle of the Ankh, all right? This was the Egyptian hieroglyph meaning life. In the middle of the... I don't know if we have any Ankhs in The Shining, but maybe we should keep an eye out for them. Diamonds represented the sun. Hello. Again, what do we say? Zeus, Jupiter, Apollo. Yep. Symbol of power, courage, and truth. Again, I'm going to skip over India and then Greeks, the Romans and Greeks, because Greek and Roman culture, it's not interchangeable, but the Romans basically copied, and the Etruscans too, basically copied all of their gods and religious beliefs from the Greeks. Okay, so that's the succession. That's how it's taught in school anyway. First you learn prehistory, then you learn Mesopotamia, then you learn Egypt, then you learn like the Aegean cultures, then you learn Greece, and then you learn Rome. And then after Rome, after the kind of slow and, I don't know what to call it, kind of painful dissolution of the Roman Empire, then we get into what we could maybe call the beginnings of the modern world as we know it. Okay, with Christianity and all that stuff that happened surrounding that. Ancient Greeks and Romans. The ancient Greeks and Romans had powerful beliefs about diamonds, including the thought that diamonds were the... did I already read this? These people need to get their shit together and be more original. I hate plagiarists. I really do. Roman literature also stated that Cupid... I already read this. This might be a little bit different. Classical Greek philosopher Plato wrote about the idea of diamonds as living beings that embodied celestial spirits. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is why I was looking up Jews here, because it does mention Jews and Judaism. Judge of innocence and guilt. I didn't know this. Jewish high priests, who I believe were the only ones allowed, in the temple, at least in the ancient times. I don't know anything about modern Judaism, so y'all let me know if there's something that if I made a mistake, if I got some information wrong. Please correct me. Please do correct me, because I want to learn. Jewish high priests used diamonds to determine the innocence or guilt of someone accused of a crime. The more truthful someone was, the more the diamond placed before them would sparkle. Holy Moses! Oh my goodness! When a person was guilty, the diamond would dull and darken. I didn't know this. This is amazing information. Legends of diamonds. This is about engagement rings. Okay, Alexander the Great in India. Okay. Alexander the Great discovered the Valley of the Diamonds on one of his campaigns in India. The valley was guarded by countless snakes. We're going to be talking about snakes later too, and in a way that you're probably not expecting. So Alexander devised a plan to get through them by using mirrors to fright the snakes away with their own reflection. Wow. Oh, the famous Hope diamond. Okay, whatever. So you guys, diamonds are important throughout history, ancient history even too. Now, how is Stanley, our Stanley, how is he using them in this movie? They're on the floor, they're on the wall, and they're even built into. Now, I'm gonna prep you for the next segment of this. They're even built into the Z's and the chandelier, also known as the crowns. And I remember in the last video, this one, yeah, that we're looking at right now, the last video, I said, oh, this movie has intrigued me for a long time, but in that entire time, ever since I've been kind of, analyzing this movie, these Z's bugged me. They bugged me, and I didn't know what to think or make of them. Same thing with these frickin' chandeliers. I never really paid much attention to the diamonds, but, they do warrant attention, because that's what I'm doing now in this video. But these frickin' chandeliers, I knew they were crowns. I mean, come on, look at them. And again, these are smaller versions of the ones that are in the Colorado Lounge and in the Gold Room. Okay. It's going to get weird real quick. Okay? It's going to get weird really quick. Now, that's one of the articles that I'm going to not articles, but it's a book that I'm going to show you. Okay? The name Smith plays into this. The word to smite plays into this. Jewels. Again, Yahalom. All right? Which is Hebrew for diamond. All right? Yeah, and again, yes, I'm looking up Judaism. Okay? Because this is our gateway to all of this knowledge. All right, I know it might sound crazy. I know it might sound like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. And I very well might not know what I'm doing or saying. But I cannot ignore. I'm kind of going where the evidence is taking me, as they say. No, I'm not an investigator. I'm not even a researcher. I am just kind of like, I'm trying, and I don't know if I'm doing well. Again, Hebrew alphabet. And remember last time when I ended this video, right? Get your Z's at the Overlook Hotel. I ended it on the Wikipedia page for the word tag, Hebrew, in relation to Hebrew writing. Okay? And then we're going to go here too. A crown is a crown, yo. A crown is a crown. So, where was I going with this and why? Oh, yes. Ancient India, the pharaohs, invincibility. Okay. And the judgment of innocence or guilt. Do we need to now that we've read this, I mean, I don't know. Is Stanley aware of this? Was Stanley aware of this? Do we have, I said light equals knowledge. And I said false light is false knowledge, and true light, natural light, is true knowledge. Okay, so do we have instances of things that emit light in The Shining, such as light bulbs, or like the daylight coming through the windows or whatever, that gets brighter and darker at different points or in different situations or in different contexts within the movie? I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Anyway, okay. And then this. I said the Yahalam stone. So I think I'll take a tiny little break, get a little coffee, and then we shall go from there. Okay. How does this all fit together? The Z's, Zayin, the diamonds, and the chandeliers, also known as crowns. Okay. Also known as crowns. What I've put together for you, I hope it makes sense. And I hope I'm not wrong. I mean, ain't no telling. I could very well be completely wrong about all of this. And the worst part is there's no way for me to know. Because the person who does know no longer resides on this plane of existence and he can't tell us. So, anyway, I'll be right back, you guys. Maybe you should go get a drink, too. Maybe you should go get a drink or, whatever it is that you consume to relax. Because, this might ruin you. So, hold on. I'll be right back, you guys. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Had my little coffee. Anyway, where was I going with this and why? Again, I'm not done. I'm about halfway done with this video, so it's going to be a long one. But like I said, I talked about the Z's, and now we're moving on to diamonds, and we will get to the chandeliers, the crowns. And I went through these articles, okay, and I wanted to talk about the Yahalom, okay? What does Yahalom mean in Hebrew? And you can look this up in your own time if you want to. I looked up the word diamond in Hebrew. Okay, I told you I did my research. And I went to Google Translate, typed in the word diamond for English, and then clicked on Hebrew for the translation. And I got what I got. And I can't read Hebrew. But thankfully, with Google Translate, they have the little thing that you click, like the little, like the little speaker icon, and you click on it to hear how that word is pronounced in whatever language you're trying to find the translation for. And when I clicked on it, it said very clearly in a woman's voice, it said Yahalom. And I said, oh, okay. I still don't know what's going on, but I'm going to research it. So I researched the word Yahalom. It's the direct translation, according to Google Translate, from the word diamond in English to the word diamond in Hebrew. So in Hebrew, the word diamond is Yahalom. Okay, so what does the word Yahalom mean? Is it just to identify the object, the item, the thing, the diamond? Yes and no. Okay, yes and no. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and I found this, which this is called. It's by J. Ben Pickering, and the title of the book is 12 Stones and the High Priest's Breastplate. And now, that does relate to what we're talking about. The High Priest's breastplate, again in Judaism, it has 12 stones on it, precious stones, and it's supposed to represent the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? So the Yahalom stone, and you say, Yahalom just means diamond, and that's that. No, not quite. I'll read this. It's not very long, so I'll read it to you. And maybe you can already see where I'm going with this. Maybe not, but I'll keep going just for those of you who can't see where I'm going with this, because I couldn't see where I was going with this when I was doing it. The Yahalom stone. This is a stone to which we must apply a measured method to appreciate what the stone was and what was intended by its inclusion in the 12 stones. Almost all the information we can accumulate on this stone is contained in the meaning itself. Yahalom means to smite. Okay, this is the word for diamond in Hebrew, but the word literally means to smite. Okay. This word is derived from a root word meaning to strike down, hammer, or stamp. There is no doubt that whatever this stone was, it was certainly used to influence something else. So, let me go back. Now, I considered putting up the picture of Jack Torrance smiting Dick Halloran in this room, in this location, exactly where this pillar is, exactly where this, he falls dead in this circle, and then there's the Z's, the diamonds on the wall back here, the diamonds on the floor, there's one on the floor here, and then there's one closer to the foreground here, and that's exactly what Jack does to Halloran. He smites him. Okay? Alright? Which, is that a coincidence? Oh, I don't think so. In my heart of hearts, I do not think so. But let me go back to this book. No, that's not it. Here it is. Yahalo means to smite. Okay. It was, there is no doubt that whatever this stone was, whether it was a diamond as we know it or some other stone, they're not sure. They're not sure. There is no doubt that whatever the stone was, it was certainly used to influence something else. So these diamonds that we see in The Shining, we don't see the diamond itself. We don't see a diamond stone, like for an engagement ring or a pendant or whatever. No, we see the diamond shape. So he's not, I don't know, in the other movies where the diamond is featured, like Eyes Wide Shut, or Full Metal Jacket, or 2001, or whatever. I don't think we see the actual jewel. We don't see the actual diamond stone jewel. We see the diamond shape. Okay? We see the diamond shape. And I think specifically with like 2001 A Space Odyssey, I looked up, and I did not include that in this presentation for a reason, because it's already confusing. It's going to get even more confusing. Get ready. But I looked up not the diamond stone, but the diamond shape, which is called a rhombus. Okay? And when you look up the word rhombus and you find the Wikipedia article, of course, rhombus, it comes, I can't remember exactly, but you can look it up for yourself. The rhombus, that word that means diamond shape, it means to turn. And those diamonds in 2001, are they turning? I have to watch to make sure, but like y'all tell me in the comments, are they turning? Because that's what rhombus means. It's something that turns on an axis. All right, so let me go back to the Yahalom book, the 12 Stones book. Okay, there is no doubt that whatever the stone was, it was certainly used to influence something else. Okay? That's why he's not using the stone itself or the jewel itself. He's using the shape. Okay? It goes on. Many Bible students erroneously accepted the authorized version's rendering of diamond. This is an impossibility. The author puts it in italics and in bold. This is an impossibility. There could not have been a diamond in the breastplate of the high priest. There's absolutely no evidence of any culture, especially Egyptian, having any diamonds this early. Even if by some slim chance there was a diamond, there was no technology available to work it. One well-researched work explains the history of diamond crafting, stating, curiously enough, it is a modern art, almost a mathematical science, and diamond cutting dates back only 200 or 300 years to the discovery that only a diamond, or diamond dust, cuts diamond. I didn't know any of this. I don't know anything about jewelry or precious stones. Not a thing. There are other occasions in which the diamond is mentioned in Scripture, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1, but this is a different word in the Hebrew, shamir. This is emery, which is corundum, the same substance that forms sapphires. So it is clear that this also was not the precious diamond as we know it today. So I guess what this author is saying, and I've seen this in more than one source, so I settled on this one because it was the most descriptive one I could find. Like when we're dealing with the breastplate, the high priest's breastplate, and a diamond is mentioned for the high priest's breastplate, but this author and other authors also say it cannot have been an actual diamond. No, they're talking about something else. And that's why he emphasizes that Yahalom means to smite. Okay, to strike down, hammer, or stamp. All right, so what gem is this Yahalom, meaning to smite? We must look to what would be meant by such an action. The most likely interpretation is that this stone was crafted of a mineral that was commonly used as a seal, such as royal seals or writing seals. Stamping shapes or symbols into softer materials was a common form of visual communication in the ancient world. Yes, and we see that back in Mesopotamia with like seal cylinders, stuff like that. It was a way of authenticating documents, basically. I guess, I don't know, what would be the equivalent today? I guess in the old times, like a couple centuries ago, people used wax seals to seal letters or envelopes, and we still have a version of that. It's not actual wax, but like important documents do have seals on them, and or we have people like notaries, notary publics to officiate or legitimize like a document, a written agreement between two people. Examples of this form of use are abundant, from cuneiform writing tablets to like I just said, to seals to idolic symbols and icons. Almost all the articles receiving such impressions were clay tablets, bricks, walls, plaster, and wax. Seals were made of materials that were much harder than soft clay, but nevertheless soft enough themselves to be carved with metal implements. Examples of minerals used include granite, marble, onyx, carnelian, chrysoprase, sardonyx, and many silicates. Okay. That this stone is used primarily in this occupation is much supported by the meaning of the Hebrew word yahalom. Without doubt, in this stone would be seen the significance of teachability, of being continually prepared to learn and receive instruction, which is what I've been saying that Stanley is like doing in his movies, especially something like The Shining, but probably all of them, or probably like after a certain point in his movie making career, like I think wherever the diamonds are featured, maybe that's Stanley's stamp, that to let you know that what you're looking at is something that's teachable. He's teaching us something, or at least just trying to get us to teach ourselves something. A self-guided education, kind of like what I'm doing now with this research. Look at where all of the places that I'm going, and all of the different cultures, and all of the different historical periods, and all of the different like linguistic things, and mythological things, and religious things, and etc., and so on and so forth. Of being continually prepared to learn and receive instruction. The stamp of the potter's mark or the builder's seal was eternal in the materials that were made by creative hands. Like the clay on the potter's wheel, soft, malleable, and worked into the new shape, was pressed the maker's mark, a personal impression. Still bearing this impression, the works were then dried and fired to hardness. From then on they were unalterable, unable to bear the mark of another. This was God's people, chosen by him and given his name, to bear it with pride and authority before the nations that surrounded them. This is like kind of touching emotionally, like when you really think about it, like where this is coming from and the motivation that fueled the art, and just like what I'm reading here, these seals and things in biblical times and before. So human beings have always had this need to let whoever's looking know, like, yeah, I did that. That's my work. That is my toil. That is my contribution to the world. It's again, I'm getting a little bit emotional. So, like I said, I will leave this in the description. You can look through this book yourself, or like the part that's, I don't know if this is just a preview and I just got lucky or whatever. But check it out. It looks extremely interesting. And it's kind of helped me a lot for this video, kind of understand the word yahalom, to smite. It's applied to the word diamond in modern usage, or I don't know how long it's been used that way. Maybe much older than modern usage of Hebrew, but it means to smite, to strike down, hammer, or stamp. That's why I looked up the name Smith, and I looked up the definition of the word smite, which means strike with a firm blow. He smites the water with his sword, or be strongly attracted to somebody or something. She was so smitten with the boy. Okay. Archaic, as a noun, archaic, a heavy blow or stroke with the weapon or the hand. And we were talking about this a little bit, me and Dr. Luke, about, you know, again, Zeus, Jupiter, and Thor. You know, Thor's hammer is a smiting hammer. Okay, so the name, surname, Smith, is an occupational surname originating in England. It is the most prevalent surname in the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, and the fifth most common surname in the Republic of Ireland. And you guys, you can read through the rest of that yourself, but I'm interested in this etymology and history. The name refers to a smith, originally deriving from smid or smit, the Old English term meaning one who works with metal, related to the word smitan, the Old English form of smite, which also meant strike. As in early 17th century biblical English, the verb to smite equals to hit. Kind of like what Jack does to Halloran with that axe. The Old English word smit comes from the Proto-Germanic word, oh dear, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that, but smitas? I don't know. Smithy comes from the Old English word smide, from the Proto-Germanic, I can't pronounce this anymore. The use of Smith as an occupational surname dates back to the Anglo-Saxon times, when inherited surnames were still unknown. Okay, cool. Did I want to look at something with regard to... Is there anything with etymology and history? So they're just talking about the name, but, like, does it mention mythology anywhere? Other languages? Okay. So... I can't see what I'm looking for as far as mythology here. So, that's why I needed to go here, right? And we're not going to cover Thor in this video. We're not going to cover Zeus or Jupiter or Apollo or King Minos or any of those people, or any Romans, any Greeks, any of those characters or individuals, because this video is already confusing, and I don't want to make it even more confusing. So Yahalom, the diamond, the word for diamond means to smite, to strike down, hammer, or stamp. Okay, so here we are, another website that deals with jewelry, and I looked this up because it features the word Yahalom. According to Josephus and Septuagint, the Greek version of the Bible, the sixth stone, again we're talking about the high priest's breastplate, is green, jasper or jade. According to the original Hebrew text, Yashpech was the sixth stone, and Yahalom occupied the 12th stone slot. Some Hebrew sources, Luther in his German version of the Bible, and the authorized version, King James Version of the Bible of 1611, translate Yahalom as diamond, since its meaning is to smite. This name seems appropriate for diamonds, since it can cut or smite other gemstones because of its extreme hardness. The diamond, however, was not used for the purpose of cutting other stones in the early times. It could only have been used for engraving in the 5th century BC, since it was improbable that diamond was used for stone cutting at that point. We are led to believe that Yahalom was actually an onyx, which was the common stone used for engraving at that time. In fact, the Greek version of the Bible translates Yahalom as onyx, although it places it in the 12th slot instead of the 6th slot of the breastplate. The name Zebulun was engraved on the Yahalom stone, the 6th of the 12 tribes. Okay. So this is, again, a very, very interesting page, which has a great deal to do with history, the Old Testament, Moses, as you can see here, and temples. Oh, they have a picture of a temple. Good heavens! And again, Jewish history is related to Mesopotamian history, so you can't study one without studying the other. Okay. and Egyptian history, and it's all interconnected. Okay, so I will again leave this for you in the description for you to look through it. It looks like a very, very fun page with lots of very, very interesting information. Okay, so yeah, take a look. All right, and then what do I have next? We're back here again. Okay, so this all started with Phoenician and then, by extension, Hebrew. Okay, and the word for the letter Z or Zayin. Remember, the one that looks like an X. All right, so we're going back to Hebrew. Okay, and that's where I found this kind of chart of all the letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, so this is the alphabet, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's 7? Zayin. Okay, Zayin, and Zayin has its own page, Zayin, right? And we already talked about the meaning of Zayin, and the significance. Okay, so in gematria, Zayin represents the number 7. Remember, there's supposed to be 7 diamonds. All right, and when used at the beginning of Hebrew year, okay, never mind that. This is where I'm going with this. Okay, so tag. In the use in the Torah scroll, Zayin, in addition to Ayin, Gimel, Tet, Nun, Shin, and Tzadi, is one of the 7 letters which receive a special crown called a tagin when written in a Sefer Torah or Torah scroll. And you can look up Sefer Torah if you want to. It's a handwritten copy of the Torah, meaning the 5 books of Moses. The Torah scroll is mainly used in the ritual of Torah reading during Jewish prayers. At other times, it is stored in the holiest spot within the synagogue, the Torah ark, etc., and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I'm interested in. The tagging, right? Here it is. Tag or tagging, I'm not sure, and I don't know enough to know the difference, if there is like a marked difference between the word tag or tagging. A tag, and this is where we left off in this video when I was like near the end. A tag is a decoration drawn over some Hebrew letters in the Jewish scrolls of Sifrei Kodesh, Tefillin, and Mezuzot. I apologize if I pronounced those incorrectly. Please forgive me. The Hebrew name for this scribal feature is keter, K-E-T-H-E-R. Both tag and keter mean crown in Aramaic and Hebrew, respectively. Okay, I'm going to read this because we're gonna learn today. In modern practice, the letters Beth, Daleth, He, Heth, Yud, and Kuf have 1 tag. The letters Gimel, Zayin, Tet, Nun, Ayin, Tzadi, and Shin, as far back as Talmudic times, have 3 tags. Some manuscripts feature embellished tagging on the top line of each column, and some also on all occurrences of the tetragrammation other than those prefixed with lamed. Okay, this is a lot of information, and like all of this stuff leads to something else. You can look up all of these letters, specifically these 7 that have the 3 tags on them. Okay, the tetragrammation means like it's just the I guess abbreviation of the word for the God of the Old Testament. Okay, and again, this is once again a little bit complicated, so I don't want it to kind of add to the confusion, but you can read this in your own time. If I miss something, let me know. All right, so what is the interpretation of tagging? The Talmud states that tagging was originally added to the text by God at Mount Sinai, and that Rabbi Akiva would use their presence in order to derive laws. In Kabbalistic thought, each tag has special significance and meaning. Okay, cool. Right? Now, why am I concentrating on this in relation to the crown? Okay? Again, these damn chandeliers that for years, I've been into this movie for years. Like, I wanted to know what is up with these chandeliers? Like, and why are they in all the, like, what I call public rooms of the hotel where people congregate, whether it's the lobby, the Gold Room, the Colorado Lounge, they all have the same chandeliers, just bigger and smaller versions. So they have the smaller versions in the lobby, and then there's bigger versions in the Colorado Lounge. And I think like the largest one, I have to go through the movie again and compare the size of the chandeliers in the Colorado Lounge and the Gold Room. I don't know. I think maybe the Colorado Lounge has the largest one, or is it the Gold Room? Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I have to look. I have to check to make sure. But I always thought these are crowns. These are some kind of ancient, illuminated crowns. And why are they all there? Like, couldn't they, like, the interior designer who did the interiors for the hotel? Why are all the same types of chandeliers with the same sort of setup in all three of those major public rooms of the hotel? I was like baffled by that. But anyway, Gimel, Zayin, Tet, Nun, Ayin, Tzadi, and Shin. Those are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now we're still dealing with the diamonds. Right? We're still dealing with the diamonds, but we're also dealing with the crowns. Okay? And y'all help me. I will try to look for it myself, but like on these chandeliers in the lobby, is it 7 candles on each one? If it's 7 candles on each chandelier in the lobby, it can't be for the Gold Room or the Colorado Lounge because they're huge and there's probably way more than 7. But if these ones in the lobby each has 7 candles, Stanley did it again. Anyway, he did a number on us, the number 7. The letters Gimel, Zayin, Tet, Nun, Ayin, Tzadi, and Shin, as far back as Talmudic times, have 3 tags. So I don't know, like, I assume that if a letter has a tag on it, that the more tags it has, the more important the letter is. That's just my, like, assumption. Again, I don't know what I'm saying, but that's my assumption. So, I'll go ahead and read this, Sefer Tagin. About the 2nd century CE, a work called Sefer Tagin emerged, attributed to Rabbi Akiva, and I don't know who this is, but I'm willing to look it up at some other time, which laid out which laid out the 1,960 places where modified tagging or letter forms occur in a Torah scroll. In it, the locations of letters which receive a number of tagging, which differs from the number of Sha'atnez, Gat's tradition. I don't know what Sha'atnez Gat's means. In other words, the initial belt. Is it belt or bait or Bereshith in Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1, having 4 tagging as opposed to the usual 1, and the instances of Aleph, which bears 7 tagging. Do you see why I'm confused by this? According to this work, each occurrence of each letter is to be written with between 0 and 7 tagging, as delineated in the lists contained therein. Okay. See, I don't know about all that. I really don't. But obviously it's important. Okay? So, because this Rabbi Akiva person seems like he was a really important person. I don't know exactly. I haven't researched him. But as you can see on the sidebar over here, this is an example of a 3 tagging on the letter Ayin. Okay? And again, these letters are, yes, letters in and of themselves, but they also are named after actual things, objects, nouns, what have you. And I looked it up. All 7 of these, because, the 7 diamonds mystery. Gimel, Zayin, Tet, Nun, Ayin, Sadi, and Shin. I looked up the meanings of each of those. And I think I used this because this has all of these meanings. The Phoenician page on Wikipedia has all these meanings. And I'm not going to go through these each one by one and like open each of these individually because we've already passed 1 hour. But I did make a little note. Okay, so here we go. Gimel. What does that mean? It means weapon. But not the same way as Zayin means weapon. It means weapon in the sense of like a staff sling, a throwing stick, or a spear thrower. If you look up like a staff sling or whatever, it could be just my imagination, but they look awfully similar to baseball bats, which could be interpreted. A baseball bat could be interpreted as a throwing stick. I don't know. What say you? Let me know in the comments. A Zayin we've already covered. It means sword or weapon, and now we know also axe. And it's the 7th letter of both the Phoenician and the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, moving on to the word teth. I don't know if it's tet or tet. Tet. What does that mean? It means spinning wheel and or spinning thread, which would be interesting because, the labyrinth, the myth about the labyrinth and King Minos and the Minotaur, the monster, the half bull, half man monster in the labyrinth that, I don't know if he just kills people or if he eats them. The hero Theseus, who killed the Minotaur, he did it with he did it with the help of King Minos' daughter Ariadne. And how did she help him? She provided him with a thread. Okay, so the word teth means spinning wheel or spinning thread. So she spun, I think she spun thread that he held on to or tied to himself somehow, so he could, after he was done dealing with the Minotaur, so he could find his way out of the labyrinth, the maze. Okay, so that's Gimel. Gimel's throwing stick. Zayin is weapon. Axe. Tet, spinning wheel, spinning thread. Okay, and spinning a thread, or spinning a yarn is also known as like just storytelling. Yeah. Nun or nun. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but what does that word mean in Hebrew? Snake. Snake. And you might say, well, what does that have to do with The Shining? Well, if I'm not mistaken, there's they mentioned this in the interview portion of the movie with Jack and Ullman and Watson, and Ullman mentions like something about the road to Sidewinder. So help me out, Tankard. Sidewinder is a road leading up to, that winding, meandering, and again, the labyrinth. It might be related to the Meander River. I don't know, but the road to Sidewinder. Sidewinder is a snake, is it not? Just saying. Just saying. Here we go with Ayin. What does Ayin mean? I. Okay. How does that relate to The Shining? I'm not sure. But there does seem to be kind of this feeling when you're watching the movie that the characters in the hotel, Jack, Wendy, Danny, are constantly being surveilled somehow, or like just watched by an eye, or there's that like creepy paranoia kind of thing going on, or there's also eye in the sense of like the sun. The sun is like the eye of heaven, right? So maybe there's that. Yeah, and again, there's a lot of sun imagery. Like again, we talked about Zeus, Jupiter, Apollo, in Egyptian Ra or Ray, however you want to pronounce it, and there's sun imagery definitely in this movie, and then so oh God, this goes to Roman again. The oculus of a building is called the eye of a building. It's supposed to let in the sun of an ancient like temple building with a dome, and the hole in the center of the dome is called the oculus. Oculus means eye, and is there so again the sunlight can stream in to the building through that hole. Okay, moving on. Tsadi. What does the word tsadi mean? It means either papyrus or fishhook, or it can also have to do with hunting. Okay? So we hear hunting mentioned in The Shining. Susan and her husband. Remember Susan? She's been lost for 10 days, and they're going to call off the search because some bad weather is coming in. That was a hunting trip that, she's been missing. There's also the hunting trophies that you see in the movie. There's like those animal heads in the Colorado Lounge. I think it's like a bison and like an elk or something like that. And then there's like, there's one in Halloran's home in the bar portion of the home where he makes his phone calls. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So papyrus is also an interesting one for the word tsadi because, writing. Papyrus is the precursor to the modern paper that we use that we used to use. Now we use computers, but that used to be used to write stories on. Like paper has been very important throughout history. Paper is important in this movie. All work and no play, make Jack a dull boy. That's all written on paper. Okay? So there's that. And finally, the letter and or word shin, which means a couple of different things. It could mean tooth. It could mean bow, like as in a bow and arrow. More references to hunting. But it also could mean sun. Okay. So what I'm saying is these 7 letters that receive when they're written in the Torah scroll, these I assume they're kind of special, the 3 tags that these letters get when they're in the Torah scroll. Are those the 7 diamonds that we're dealing with in a Stanley Kubrick movie, specifically this one, The Shining? Because it's related to the, how did I get to this? All of these different meanings of these letters. I got to it through the Z. Z for Zayin, weapon, axe. And is it a coincidence that the word for the letter Gimel means throwing stick, and Wendy happens to use something that can be interpreted as a throwing stick to clock Jack on the head. The Zayin, again, the axe. Is that a coincidence? The Tet, the spinning wheel or spinning thread, again, relating to the Minotaur, Theseus, Ariadne, and the labyrinth. I don't know. Noon, snake, sidewinder, Ayin, eye, another like ancient reference to the sun, the eye of heaven, or the eye of Ra. My goodness. And Ra is the sun god. I think he is. Anyway, Atadi, papyrus, fishhook, and or hunting. All can apply to this movie. And then finally shin, tooth, bow, or sun. I don't know. Is that a coincidence? Have I solved the 7 diamond mystery? Have I solved the diamond mystery in general? Is the diamond simply Stanley's signature in the movie, as it's implied by where was it? No, it's not here. Is it here? No, it's not here. I think I read that in this book, the 12 stones and the high priest's breastplate. Okay. How did I get to crowned from all of this? Well, okay, there's 7 of these letters that received 3 tags rather. Okay, then there's this. I found this, and this is again another page related to Judaism and interpreting or explaining stuff. And I guess this is written by a rabbi. A crown is a crown. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm back. I had to take another little break. I'm sorry. Right when I'm almost done. Anyway. Anyway. So, what do we cover? In the last video and this one, the Z's, the diamonds, and finally, the chandeliers and or crowns. Now, where was I? Oh yes, this page. And I think this is a page, I don't know if this is specifically to do with Judaism, or is it just like, I think it is. Yeah, it's called, there's a section called Ask the Rabbi. Okay, so a crown is a crown. And this was written back in 2016 by somebody named Rabbi Reuven Chaim Klein. Okay, so here we are. Why am I here? The Bible uses 3 different words to mean crown: Keter, Atara, and Nezer. Some explain that the word Keter is a general term which refers to crowns, while the other 2 are specific types of crowns. However, most commentators assume that the 3 words represent 3 different types of crowns. And once again, you can read through the length of this article in your own time. And I kind of chose this one because, like, okay, if anybody would know about this kind of thing with regard to the use of tags in sacred writing, like for Torah scrolls and these 7 letters and these other letters that only have 1 tag and whatever, who would know better than a rabbi? Okay. So you can read this whole thing. What I'm interested in is this here at the bottom. Okay, the last paragraph, and I will read it to you. In addition to the 3 Hebrew words and the 1 Aramaic word mentioned above, there is a 5th word for crown used in rabbinic idiom, tag or taga. The word is commonly used when referring to the crowns drawn on top of certain letters in a Torah scroll, known as tagin. Linguists claim that tag is a Persian loan word that was later adopted by Aramaic. Interestingly, in light of our understanding of the role of a crown in marking its wearer as special, we can easily see how the Aramaic word tag became the English word tag, which also serves as a marker of sorts. Okay, so this article and the author of this article makes the connection. He did it for me. The connection between the word tag or tagging and the word crown. Okay, so the 7 letters of the Hebrew alphabet that have 3 tags on them. One of them happens to be the letter that, I think I've identified as the Z here, which Z is for, Z, but it leads us to the letter Zayin, both in Phoenician and Hebrew. And then it's one of the letters that receives a special marking in Torah scrolls called a tag or taggin. All right. And then the rabbi here tells us that the word tag is a 5th word for crown used in rabbinic idiom. Okay. What are the odds? I'm just saying, I always leave room open for my own folly, for my own error with regard to this stuff. I could be 100% wrong. 100% wrong about everything that I've said in this video and the previous one, right? Get your Z's. Okay? I could be wrong about the letter Z. I could be wrong about the, not the word Z, the letter Z. I could be wrong about the letter and the word Zayin relating to this Z, and does it, I'm making a connection between it and Jack's axe. And Halloran, and Zayin or Lezayin has to do with something sexual. And then, Dick Halloran having the first name Dick, they never call him Richard, always Dick. And then these diamonds, like I said, what's up with the diamonds? There's 7 of them. Are the 7 diamonds these 7 letters and or words in Hebrew? And I think also Phoenician, with all of these different meanings. Like I said, throwing stick, sword or axe for Zayin, something to do with spinning thread, for the letter tet, snake for noon, I for ayin, which could also extend to meaning the sun, and sadi meaning papyrus, fishhook, and or hunting, and then the letter shin meaning tooth, bow, or sun. What are the odds? And all of these things, all of these letters and their corresponding meanings, can be connected to this movie. So are those the 7 diamonds? Did I solve the mystery? Y'all let me know. And then again, the tag itself, as Rabbi Reuven Chaim Klein tells us, tag is yet another word for crown in Hebrew, and the rabbinic idiom, in rabbinic idiom. Y'all, have I lost my mind? And if you're listening to me and or watching this and you happen to be Jewish, please let me know. Have I gone off the rails? Because if you recall, where's my thing? If you recall, in my non-alcoholic beverage, rum break, what's up with the drinks in The Shining? We talked about Maxwell House coffee, and we talked about the Haggadah, the Maxwell House Haggadah that's been published since 1932. And I said, okay, that could mean, maybe that's why Stanley put Maxwell House rather than Folgers or U-Ban or MJB or whatever other brand of coffee. But he kind of puts another, potentially emphasizes the Maxwell House connection to Judaism and specifically the Passover, because he also puts Cafe Vienna in the storeroom, in the dry goods room. And Cafe Vienna is another product, coffee-flavored product, that's also, at least now, I don't know if back in the day it was produced by Maxwell House, but it's produced by Maxwell House now. Okay, was it produced by Maxwell House back then? I don't know for sure, but it is now. Okay, and I said, well, what are the odds of him putting that brand of coffee, which is connected to the Passover Haggadah, is Stanley including ideas from Judaism in this movie? And remember, I talked about Danny, and Dick Halloran asks him, do you like lamb? And Danny says no, he doesn't like lamb. And again, I said maybe it's connected to the Passover sacrifice, the Pesach, the sacrificial lamb, which of course I think Rich and Law reminded me goes back to Abraham and Isaac. And then also, with regard to Christianity, it's the Lamb of God, that's Jesus. But we're talking about the Old Testament here, and we're talking about the 5 books of Moses. I think Abraham and Isaac is the story contained in those books. And then here we are with, Zayin, the diamonds, the 7 letters, and then the crown, which I'm telling you, if these chandeliers are not meant to look like crowns, then I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what the hell is going on. If that don't look like a crown, it looks like some kind of ancient crown. It looks like, I think it's worn. Oh dear. I'm going to have to check up on this because I'm not sure. But I think it's even in depictions of like St. Nicholas. Yeah? Ooh. And it might again point to Norse mythology. I'm going to have to look that up, but I'm not sure. But I think I've done enough for this video. I always have this feeling like I could have done better, or I could have said more, or I could have done more research and somehow figured out how to weave it into whatever I'm saying in any given video. But I guess I'm just never going to shake that feeling. But like I said, I'm going to leave all of these again in the description for you to look at. The articles about diamonds, they seem to be copies of each other, but I'll put both of them anyway. The Yahalom stone in the 12 Stones book, the 12 stones and the high priest's breastplate, smith, to smite, meaning of the word smite. I might even leave that. This one too, that deals with the word Yahalom, again, as not necessarily meaning diamond, like the stone, the precious stone, but meaning to smite or to strike. Remember, that's what Jack does to Halloran, specifically in this location. Okay, what else? I'm recapping. And then, of course, the Hebrew alphabet and the 7 letters with the 3 tag in on them in Torah scrolls. And then the word tag and its relationship to the word crown, which brings us back to these chandeliers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I'm gonna need your help. I mean, obviously, I can do this on my own, but again, what like my father would say, the saying, 2 heads are better than one. So it's not just 2; it's me and like all of you guys. Anybody who wants to contribute any commentary or statements or whatever contribution you want to make. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, again, you feel free. Feel free. I know that I might very well be wrong about all of this and more. But to cap off this episode, or this video, I wanted to show you this. Okay. Now I'll show you in a second. This is Stanley. I love Wikipedia. And of course, Stanley has an article about him on Wikipedia. And I thought, I'm not going to learn much about Stanley from Wikipedia, but here it is. Okay, and you can read through all this. I'll leave this in the description too, right? And here he is. He was absolutely adorable as a youngster. This early life. Okay, it tells you about his parents and his ancestry and his family's history and everything. Okay, and his father was like a naturopathic doctor and whatever. And this is the part that I'll read to you, just a little bit. Soon after his sister's birth, Kubrick began schooling in Public School 3 in the Bronx and moved to Public School 90 in June 1938. His IQ was discovered to be above average, but his attendance was poor, so he didn't like school just like I didn't. This is the part. Okay, he displayed an interest in literature from a young age and began reading Greek and Roman myths and the fables of the Grimm brothers, which, this is in quotes, which instilled in him a lifelong affinity with Europe. Okay. All right. It says here his parents married in a Jewish ceremony, but Kubrick did not have a religious upbringing and later professed an atheistic view of the universe. Now, obviously he comes from Jewish people. And obviously, maybe it's not so obvious. I don't know. But, to me, it seems obvious that he would have at least a rudimentary knowledge of Judaism and, all of the stuff that you have to know if you're going to be Jewish. His parents were Jewish. I don't know if he ever got bar mitzvahed. I don't know if he, went to Hebrew school and learned Hebrew and learned all this stuff. I don't know. But I would not be surprised at all. He probably was exposed to that. Plus, he began reading Greek and Roman myths and fables by the Grimm brothers. So he was they put this in his biography for a reason. I'm going to have to look up the source, though. But they put it there they wanted, whoever wrote this, whoever put this together, wanted you to know that he was aware of at least Greek and Roman mythology, and probably also, whatever you have to know in order to be Jewish, including, the religious texts and all of this stuff. Was he aware of this, and that it is just another word for, in the rabbinic idiom for the word crown? I don't know. I have no way of knowing that for sure. But, what are the odds, you guys? What are the odds? So, I'm kind of all talked out. I've been at it for an hour and 38 minutes, plus my little breaks. So, let me go back to, this. Follow the bouncing ball, right? Follow it. To the pillar, to the diamond, to the other diamond, to the chandelier. Everywhere. Everywhere. He's teaching us history. He's like this. Where was it? Was it the book? Yeah, this book. I think they talk about it. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it now, but teachability, there it is. Without doubt, in this stone would be seen the significance of teachability, of being continually prepared to learn and receive instruction. That's what we need to do as people. We need to be prepared to learn. Okay? And again, I will, like I said, I'll talk about Thor, and I'll talk about smithing, with regard to Thor and regard to, again, all of these mythological deities. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Don't worry, Dr. Luke, I will. And also, I'm going to have to prep where is it? Part 15 of Understanding the Shining, and Trust and Believe. No, not here. Trust and Believe. I'm working on exposing that little no-goodnik, Tony. Okay? Y'all, you might be surprised by what I found. So, with all of that being said, again, I'm talked out, but I think I had a blast doing this and putting it together and presenting it to you. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you have any contributions to make, any statements, any criticisms, please feel free. Once again, new viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you know somebody who might enjoy these nonsense videos of mine. So until next time, I don't know what the next video is going to be. Is it going to be part 15? Is it going to be about Tony? Is it going to be about these ancient Greek gods? Greek, Minoan, Roman, Etruscan, Egyptian? I don't know. Norse. We shall see. But I'm going to be working on it. And yes, I'm going to get to Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut eventually. Pray for me. But with all of that being said, you all, thank you again for watching. Thank you again if you've subscribed, or if you're gonna subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. So that's it for now. So until next time, until I find yet another reason to talk at you, I'll go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.